You thought you hallucinated these Disney movies, but they're actually real, it's just that nobody else remembers them. Disney took Treasure Island and said, what if this happened in space with cyborgs and daddy issues, then spent $140 million creating the most expensive and seriously underappreciated box office flop in animation history that featured Jim Hawkins sailing through space on a solar surfer while being chased by mechanical spider pirates and Long John Silver with a robot arm that turns into different fighty things. A pig oracle shows visions of the apocalypse to a vulnerable boy, and skeletons claw their way out of a cauldron that looks like it was designed by H.R. Geiger before the Horned King literally disintegrates on screen while screaming. They spent 4 years making this $44 million box office failure that features more unaliving than a Game of Thrones episode, and somehow thought kids would enjoy watching an army of zombies march across the countryside while a gurgling cauldron births demons, and honestly, they weren't wrong, they were just about 30 years ahead of their time. Disney made Sherlock Holmes, but with mice. There's a bat with a peg leg who's basically Rodent Napoleon, a rat mafia boss who feeds anyone who irritates him to his cat Felicia. The climactic battle happens inside Big Ben's clockwork while everything's on fire as Basil literally gets crushed by gears the size of buildings, and the whole thing feels like someone's espresso-fueled fever dream about what would happen if he were shrunk down and got trapped in a clock shop while having a dissociative episode. Young Arthur gets repeatedly transformed into animals by a wizard who's clearly having a midlife crisis, nearly gets eaten by a fish the size of a school bus, and participates in a game of what I would call medieval body horror as Merlin and Madame Mim have a shape-shifting duel that ends with the wizard turning into a literal disease. The whole movie is basically, what if Gandalf was having a psychotic break and decided to terrorize a child with magic? Two mice join Mouse FBI to rescue a girl from a swamp witch who drives like she's a typical San Diegan and has pet alligators with anger issues. And in the far superior sequel, these same mice travel to Australia to fight a poacher who's basically Crocodile Dundee if he captured a kid, and two reptiles are the best part of this criminally underrated movie and the reason why nobody knows what I'm talking about when I tell them these are not Joanna's eggs. And honestly, there are about 15 other Disney movies that fit in this category, including Oliver and Company and the Aristocats, so let me know if you want me to explain a movie that was about Charles Dickens with cats, dogs, and Bette Midler.